Are Nintendo's legal ninjas stifling the creativity of tomorrow's game makers? Spanish students voice concern. So I came across this article and this one really grabbed my interest a lot because of the fact that there are some things here that I gotta say I I'm a little bit worried with the direction that Nintendo's been going in this regard. I gave my thoughts a lot on this when it comes down to the Power World and Pokemon legal battles that they're going through. There's a few videos that I've done on it, so you can kind of get my thoughts if you see some of those. But a lot of it really comes down to the fact that for me, I'm not the biggest fan with what's going on in in regards to that lawsuit. Nintendo is suing Power World because of patents that they had purchased in regards to game mechanics. And I'm not a fan of that at all. I'm not really digging that they're going in that direction because I feel like it's gonna hurt the gaming industry as a whole, most more so than it's gonna help Nintendo. So we're going to go ahead and get into this article and I'm going to give my thoughts as we go along because there are a lot of things in here that I got to say I do agree with when it comes down to what is kind of being said, as you can see from like the title, how it's, stifling the creativity of tomorrow's game makers. And I got to say I really agree with that because with the direction that Nintendo's going, it doesn't seem like it's going to be good in the long run. So, video game historian and time extension contributor John, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name, was recently invited to the Techno Campus University in Mataró, Spain, to give a guest lecture to the students studying there. You'll be able to read his full report this weekend, but one particular part of the trip stuck out like a sore thumb. It seems that we've now reached the point where Nintendo's legal action, such as its recent case against Palworld for copying gameplay mechanics, is negatively influencing the next generation of game developers. Several aspects of the talk were on legal precedents, such as with Data East's fighter history and Sega's camera patent, says, yeah, that person's name. Students then described their fears of Nintendo's excessive litigation, given they will literally sue you for anything these days. This cannot be overemphasized. The young, passionate, hopeful creators of tomorrow are afraid to explore their artistic urges in case Nintendo attacks them. And that's one of the shitty things about this is the fact that there can be patents for video game mechanics. I just again I do not like that. I don't like the fact that Nintendo's going after these patents for these mechanics, and I don't even like the fact that that's like something that you can patent is video game mechanics because that puts such a limitation, like it's stating here, on what creatives can do. Not just these new students, but just in general. You know what I mean? When you have companies like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, they're the big heads when it comes down to the gaming world. So if they're going to be putting patents on game mechanics, of course they're going to be the first ones that are most likely going to be going for them and then have the biggest to gain when it comes down to stuff like that. And you got to think as well, let's say if there were kind of smaller devs and everything like that that did purchase these patents themselves, do you really think that if they were trying to go up against any of those three corporations, they would more than likely win? There is a possibility, but as far as like the damage that will be done, it would be far worse for these bigger corporations to go after the little guys than the little guys going after these big corporations. And I don't agree with that. I don't like that at all. So the Power World case appears to be at the forefront of people's minds, but there have been other examples of Nintendo throwing its weight around to protect spurious patents. As noted by Kantan Games, Serkan Toto thanks Forbes, Nintendo sued the developers of the mobile title White Cat Project for 6 patent violations, one of which relates to a confirmation screen after sleep mode. Stuff like that. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, like, you know what I mean, bitch and complain, but I just think that that's so stupid. Like you get a confirmation screen after falling like a sleep mode, and then they're gonna try to sue them for that. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right. I think that's so dumb, in my opinion, that they can patent something like that and then sue a mobile game. You know what I mean? Like because if they're gonna be suing a mobile game, more than likely, if there's other games out there that are trying to do that, yeah, they're probably gonna get the same lawsuit coming their way. And just it's I don't know, man. I really don't agree with this. Another violation related to the characters hiding behind a tree and creating a shadow. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So if a character hides behind a tree, then they can't have a shadow right there. Like, just things like that. It's gonna ruin the gaming industry as a whole because of the fact that Nintendo is acting so greedy in this regard. So a 20 million license settlement was eventually reached, and that's ridiculous. $20 million for something like that. And I don't know, man. It's this is not something I want to see. This is not a direction I want to see the gaming world go into, when these high corporations are going to have the right to be able to go after these little devs and stuff like that because of the fact that they're doing game mechanics that shouldn't be patented in the first place, in my opinion. So Nintendo's willingness to chase after anyone who appears to be infringing on its copyright and patents is the stuff of legend these days, with countless memes about Nintendo's ninjas doing the rounds on social media whenever someone posts about a fan-made game that uses the company's characters. Nintendo, like any IP owner, is perfectly justified in protecting its properties. And that's a big difference. You know what I mean? If someone's using like Mario or Zelda or like Kirby in a way that Nintendo doesn't agree with, yes, go ahead and go after them. You know what I mean? Do your thing. But when it comes down again to game mechanics, I think that is just so stupid that they have the right to be able to go after that type of stuff. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing at all when it comes down to video games, because it cuts down on the creativity, and it cuts down on like more devs being able to kind of make games great. You know, it's just upsetting in my opinion, especially as unofficial projects can easily be confused for official ones by less aware individuals. However, the students in question weren't talking about using Mario or Luigi in their games, but rather taking inspiration from titles made by Nintendo. One student asked if she made a game with similarities to Tomodachi Life, would that result in lawsuits? Continues this person, I am not a lawyer, but I'd advise her to read up on historical precedents as a means of defense. Prior examples of being The Sims, and before that, Little Computer People. So, I don't know, man. I don't agree with this at all. I really don't like this direction. So this person adds that the majority of the students who attended his talk will have been born around 2006, which means they may not even be aware of some of the precedents being noted. In this case, the situation becomes even more worrying. If the only gaming landscape you know is the one where Nintendo has been a dominant force, will you even be aware that you can draw upon games from several decades ago as prior art, or will you simply avoid such ideas? And I mean, I guess in a way that is kind of the loophole you can kind of do, is the fact that, you know, there has been games in the past that more than likely have similar, like either similarities or these mechanics to begin with. So you can kind of go in that direction, but it's like they stated right here. Like if people are younger and they don't know older games, they don't know these loopholes that they can kind of go in, that gives Nintendo the right to kind of bully them in a sense. And that's basically what it feels like Nintendo has been doing a lot. I did a video in regards to that where it talks about how it feels like Nintendo is bullying Palworld and Pocket Pair because of the fact that they're going after these patents. If they decided to go after them because of copyright claims in regards to like the PAL creatures and everything like that, looking so similar to Pokemon, my tune would be a lot different. But again, I just do not like the fact that they're going after individuals based on patents. I don't think these patents should be a thing. I don't think it's something that you should be able to patent a video game mechanic or something like that. So I don't know, man. This is a weird one for me. I feel like this is like I've stated already. This is really gonna hurt the video game industry as a whole, more so than it's gonna do good for Nintendo. And I really do hope that there is a way that people can kind of fight back against this type of stuff so that they can have the ability to create games that they want to create, and you know what I mean, do it in a way where it does they don't have to be worrying about major corporations coming after them because they have a mechanic in their game that they decided to patent. So I don't know. This is just again, this is a weird one for me. I don't know how I feel about this altogether. Well, I mean, I know how I feel about this, but I don't know how I feel about the direction that this is going to be taking the video game industry. So, those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys think this is wrong for Nintendo to be able to do this type of stuff, or do you feel like, you know, if they purchase the patent, it's really in their hands to be able to decide how they use it? So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.